Hey, Bukowski. Oh, shit. Oh, easy. How you doing, Bukowskis? Bukowski just walked in here. A 60-something pound pit bull. Dude, I've raised from a little potato. Yes. I'm going to definitely do a whole episode on Boo. Why not now? Bukowski. Let's talk about my pit bull. Boo's insane. Boo is named Charles Bukowski. She's a 65-pound pit bull. At least the most she's ever weighed. At least at the vet, officially. A lot of people say they have a pit. They're like, oh, it weighs 150. You didn't actually weigh it. But 65 pounds, dude. It's a solid pit. You've seen photos of her up on... That's her, the older dog. I got Boo. Some lady came in with a box full of puppies and a grocery store where Doodles was working as a cashier, and they said, hey, you want to buy some pit bull pups? And Doodles said yes, and she bought Boo for $100. I think she had $100 on it, so she gave her $50 then, and then like a week later when she came back with Boo, she gave her another $50. And I picked up Doodles from work, and she kind of tricked me. She said, hey, I need help picking up a box in the back, because he'd come home with groceries a lot. So I was like, sure, babe. And I walked into the back. I went to pick up the box, and there was little Bukowski, a little puppy, just a little... She's like the size of a potato with a giant head. Oops, sorry. That was great, man. I never had a dog before. I always wanted a dog as a kid. I love dogs. And I saw her as a puppy. I thought, when I said, oh, wow, a cute puppy. Oh, my God. I was like, whose is it? Or what's his name or something? And she was like, it's yours. I was like, holy shit, really? And it was love at first sight. Boo was a giant pain in the butt. A lot of energy. If you're gonna have a pit bull, motherfucker, you better be ready to help them get energy out. Bukowski did a lot of funny stuff. She grew up. I used to wash dishes at a restaurant when Boo was a little puppy. Sorry, Boo. It's right in front of me. And I would get meat. You know, people wouldn't finish their, like, steaks or whatever. And I would take it, and I'd go out to the car. It'd be at nighttime, so it'd be nice and cool, and I'd have the windows down a couple inches. And while I was working, if I had a big scrap of meat, I'd go into the back. And the window would just be down like 2 or 3 inches. And I'd put the piece of meat up to the window, and this little mouth would just come out of the darkness and go, gobble it down. Boo loved that. She'd sit in that box eating meat, tacos, and enchilada all night. And I'd come home with a bunch of leftovers for her. Yes. You know, I was broke as shit, but took care of her. Fed her all the time, and she almost got eaten by an owl one time. We were just like sitting in the front yard hanging out, man. And this fucking big ass owl swooped down. I said Boo was like still a puppy, man. And she was just like, you know, running around right in front of us while just a couple of us were having a beer. And all of a sudden Boo just like ran like 5 feet. She was looking up and she's like ran 5 feet and stopped. And dude, I looked over and there was an owl that was like 3 feet above Bukowski. This owl had swooped down silently. We didn't even see it. Fly by night, just like Rush, came at her, and just at the last second, I guess the owl, I couldn't even do anything. It all happened so fast. I was just like, it just gasped. And then I guess the owl thought it was too big, or maybe got spooked by us standing there. But when it was like a foot above Boo from grabbing it, it just swooped off without grabbing her. Didn't touch her, but scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh my god, my dog almost got eaten by a fucking owl. Holy shit. And it was in that same house we were renting. And Boo just loved being outside. They had a fenced-in yard in the back. They had some big dogs. The guys I rented from were cool that I had a dog. So I had this like fenced-in yard for Boo in the back when she's a puppy. And one day I hear her yelping. I'm like, oh shit. So I go to the backyard to let her back in the house. I can't find her. I can still hear her yelping. I go around the front of the house. I can't hear her. She didn't get out. So I'm like, what the hell? So I go back to the backyard. I'm trying to follow her, like, yelping. And I look at Boo. When she was a puppy, she got herself stuck. She was trying to get out of the fence and got herself stuck in between this water pump and the side of the house. And all I could see was her little back legs trying to kick and struggle. Like, ugh. And I was like, holy shit. And I went around to the front of the house, and as soon as Boo saw me, little puppy, she looked up and she's like, oh my god, thank god you're here. I'm stuck. And she's trying to pull herself out. That was pretty fucking adorable. Because her little chubby ass got stuck. She had such a big head, with her big giant pit bull head, that she would just like lean forward all the time. Like when you were driving in the car, she'd like hang out the window, and on turns, her giant head would make her like tilt out the window. You'd have to hold her little fucking legs. She'd be so excited. That stopped when she got all bulky and all her muscles, but... And then one time she was playing in the yard, and, it's Hawaii, there's coconut trees. Boo, this coconut tree was like low enough that she started... the coconut tree was kind of curved, so she'd like kind of run up the side and get the coconut branches. So she starts like attacking the coconut branches. She's like dangling from them and shit. She's so strong, she could bite them and like hang and swing from them, But then she would like rip down the branch, and it would like, when she'd rip off the branch, it'd like peel down the side, and then she'd start chewing the side of it. After like 2 days, dude, I went outside. Boo had chewed down an entire goddamn coconut tree. Entire coconut tree. Boom. Hit the ground. Fully grown. Dog fucking chewed through it. And I was like, holy shit, Boo. Like, take it easy. Like, we're just like renting here. And she could rip open coconuts. You just throw her a brown coconut on the ground, and she just husked the whole thing. And then she would chew it till she got inside, and she started drinking it. Eat the meat inside and drink the milk. She'd crack open macadamia nuts. There are a lot of macadamia farms out here. Sometimes we're out there, she'll just pick them up off the ground, crack them open, start eating them. It was insane. Just that kind of power. She's always been such a cutie patootie, too. To little kids, to dogs, to everyone. She's always been so sweet with everybody. She got shot one time. When I first moved to the house where me Doodles are now, I grew up in Tennessee where people just like let their dogs like walk around and do whatever the fuck they want in the neighborhood. And you shouldn't do that because they get hit by a car. She didn't get hit by a car, but someone did shoot her. She was outside hanging out, and I went out there with a piece of meat, and I was like, hey, Boo, here's some rake. And she was not excited about it. She didn't jump up for it, nothing, which is not very out of character for Boo. So I was like, hey, you feeling all right? She just kind of stuck up her head, looked at me, like went back to sleep. I was like, what the hell? You don't want this? Like, and then she kind of like moved, and I saw blood. And I looked down, and there was just this giant puddle of blood. And it was all over her chest. And I was like, holy shit. And I freaked out. And it's this huge puddle of blood. So, like, I flipped the fuck out. I was like, holy shit. And so I picked Boo up, and she was, like, acting like she was dying. She was, like, limp. She was, like a doll. Like, Boo's, like, really nice, but she's not, like, affectionate. Like, if you, like, try to give her, like, snuggles, she's like, okay, get off me. But I was like picking her up, and she's like, So I was like, I ran to the car. I drove up to the veterinarian office, and like I pull up and just grab Boo, and I like walk in this place, and I like kick open the fucking door. I'm like, my dog's been shot. You gotta help me. And they're like, sir, you gotta like calm down. I'm like, fuck you, man. My dog's been shot. I'm like, sir, we can't help you. This is a hospital for humans. And I was like, I don't give a shit. You gotta help her. They're like, sir, the vet office is next door. It's literally the building 10 feet to the right of us. And I was like, okay, sorry about that. Like, it's okay, sir. And I like walked out. And I felt like such a fucking idiot. I was like, okay, sorry, dude. I was literally like gonna make this whole like movie speech, like I don't give a fuck. You're gonna help my fucking dog. Like the vet, right there, dude. And so I just had Boo. I like walked literally 10 feet to the left, and I was like, "Hey, is this the vet office?" And they're like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, great. My dog's been shot." And they were like, "Holy shit! Like, bring it in here." And they were like, "Can she stand?" I was like, "No, she's like, limp." And they're like, holy God. Like, they're like, get her in here. And like, they started freaking out. Like I was. They were like, get her in here. And I was like, now we're talking. Like, people are freaking out. Now we're talking. So I bring her in there, and they're like, lay her on the table. And I like lay her on the table. And like, they're asking all these questions. Like, like I said, they're like, is she moving? I was like, no, she's been limp, blah, blah. As soon as I lay her on the table, she just sits up, stands on her feet, starts licking the vet's face, wagging her tail. She does this for like a minute, and the vet's like, you said she was like dying? And I was like, well, she was acting like she was dying. Now we're here. She's acting like she's fine. So he's like, well, she's been shot. There's blood. Like, so he checks her chest. She was shot in the chest, and he said it ricocheted off her chest bone. The projectile bullet, whatever it is, a BB gun, pellet gun, or 22, whatever the fuck it was. And so they were like, well, we gotta check to make sure the projectile's out. So they took this like metal rod and had to stick it in the front of her, in the hole, man, feel around if the bullet was out. And I had to hold Boo, and she was like, obviously wincing. I was like, it's all right. He just poked around for a sec, pulled it out. I was like, it's good, the bullet's out. It was ricocheted off. So, thank God, paid the vet bill, which wasn't crazy, thank God. They didn't fuck me over the ass. They literally charged me like $40 or something. I was like, thank you, God, Jesus. And drove home with Boo, and yeah, decided I'm going to definitely keep Boo in a fenced-in area or on a leash. And we used to live on the lava flow when the lava was like coming down the mountain like a mile from us. I was living in the neighborhood at one point, and the lava, when I first moved in there with Boo, the lava was taking out a house in my neighborhood. I could see it. Like, it was not even a mile away. So it was so awesome. Just this river of magma would be coming down into the ocean, and we get all shit-faced and go out there and see the lava and be on acid and shit. And holy fuck, it was so fun. But I'd go out there, Boo would go out there. She'd go out to the lava. She'd run out there with us. And every morning, this dog, she had so much energy. I'd have to wake up. We'd go hike all the way down to the ocean. She'd be running around, chasing pig trails all through this like woods, this jungle, just running back and forth, just walk to the whole ocean, hike all the way back. It'd be like an hour or two process. I'd bring home like 4 or 5 coconuts for her to husk. That's how much energy this dog had every morning, man. It was insane. She loved going to the beach. She hates water, but she loved going to the beach because she likes chasing after the little crabs. She would just sit there and just look nonstop. Anyone tried to pet her, any dogs tried to play with her, she'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Go away. And she would just sit there. And she'd see a crab, and she'd run over, jump in the air, and dive. Like those videos of foxes trying to get, like, little mice out of the snow. And she'd just, boom, dive in there, start digging. I don't know if she ever got one. But well, there she is outside. Now wants to come in. All right, let me let her in here real quick. That's her. You talking about Rabs in there? Huh? All right, let me go get her. Yeah, she's back in. She's going after the crabs on the beach. She used to piss off everyone. Like, more people have tried to beat my ass or get in a fist fight over me because of Bukowski than anything else in my life. Anytime Boo got out on the lava field, there's like 5 people that lived out there. Boo would go a mile to the other side of the neighborhood, and a neighbor would be like, your dog was in my garbage. Your dog was tearing up my garden. Your dog scratched off the paint on my porch. That was one of them. One time a guy bitched because Boo ate all his cat food. I have to go buy some cat food. I have to go clean up some garbage. Oh my God. And then on the beach when she was a puppy, there was this lady tanning naked. She's butt naked. And she covered herself in like tanning oil. And Boo was running around being crazy and covered in sand, Bukowski is as a puppy, and jumped on this lady right on her stomach and on her tits and just got black sand all over her. She was furious. She was fucking furious, dude. There's no way to rinse off down there. There's no hoses. It's a real desolate beach, so you can't like go over to a hose and rinse off. Like, she's just covered in the sand. She can't get off. She was so pissed. She did that to a dude one time that was tanning butt naked, but he was cool as shit about it. I remember her going up to like Asian tourists, and I don't know why, but I don't know if they're Japanese or Chinese, but these women would be terrified of Boo as a puppy. Like, really scared. Like, she'd go up to him wagging her tail, and they would be like, ah, 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 like really scared. And I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if they're not used to dogs or what. And I remember this one time, this lady, because it's Hawaii, you always see like tourists taking photos and stuff. This Japanese, I guess they're Japanese, so I'm just going to assume they're Japanese. But she was taking a photo like with the sunset, and her husband was taking a photo of her. And Bukowski, the puppy, ran up and she was like, ah, and the guy started laughing. He thought it was funny. He was like, and just kept taking photos of her while she was like freaking out about Boo while I was trying to chase her. And God, she was crazy. Always humping everybody. Always humping every comic she saw, everyone that came over the house. She would just grab them, start humping the fucking shit out of them. And of course, they wouldn't know what to do because it's like a 65-pound pit bull, like, just humping you. And usually I'd be half drunk and I'd be laughing. And she would just do that to everyone, dude. Like I said, she's a girl dog. Like, people are like, is she a boy? It's like, nope, she's a girl. But she loves to rape people just as soon as they come in the house. Sometimes we see him on TV now, comics. I'm like, remember that guy? And people look up and like, oh, I remember raping him. Oh, those are some good rhymes. One time, I don't know how the fuck, we bought this rubber ball, man. It was this big-ass rubber ball. And I was playing with it, and then Boo was just obsessed with it. Every time I bounced it, she would just be like freaking out, like wanting to play with it. So I took it away. I let her play with it, but then after like a day, I was like, man, I think she could choke on that thing. It's like just perfect for her to like swallow it. So I took it away from her. And I just put it on the counter, which was stupid because it was on the counter and could just like easily roll off onto the floor. So then like a couple days later, I have some friends over and we're grilling. It's the middle of the day, we're drinking. And I look over and the ball's gone. And I'm like, holy shit, that ball, that fucking... And I look around, I can't find the ball, and I look over at Boo, dude, and she swallowed it. She fucking was on the ground, she was playing with it, and so I called the vet, and I was like, dude, my dog just swallowed this like 3-inch ball. And they're like, what kind of dog do you have? I was like, I got a pit bull. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, like they're notorious for that kind of shit. I was like, fuck. They're like, yeah, their throat's big enough they can swallow shit like that. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, what do I do? And like, you got any hydrogen peroxide? You got to put it in her mouth so she throws up. And if she doesn't throw it up, you're going to have to bring her in for surgery. So I was like, holy shit. So I had some hydrogen peroxide. And I had some friends over here. There's like 3 other dudes, and like they're all like 6 foot. One was like a giant Hawaiian. It took us all 4 of us to hold her down and get her mouth open. And she wasn't like biting us, but she was just resisting with all of her might. It took all 4 of us to hold her, get her mouth open, and pour the hydroperoxide down her throat. It was like all foaming and stuff in her mouth. And then she just started going, she just started throwing up everywhere. And, I was like patting her back, like, I could see she was like choking on something, but she couldn't like get it up. And I was like, dude, she can't get the ball up, man. And I called the vet back, and I was like, dude, I can see she's like she's trying to cough up something, like, but she can't get it up. And they're like, yeah, you gotta bring her in. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm all drunk, and I was like, God, someone's gotta drive me. I think Doodles was sober. She's like, I can drive you. I was like, okay, let's go. And we're getting in the car, and one of my friends I was with was like, are you sure she swallowed the ball? And I was like, yeah, of course. I looked. It's not on the... I think she's... Oh. And I looked around like for another 2 minutes, and I found the ball. I had moved it somewhere else in the house. And she had not even been playing with it. It was like in a drawer or some shit. And I was like, oh, man, sorry, boo. And she's still like throwing up, and she's just like looking at me like, dude, what the fuck was that? Like, ugh. I was like, I'm sorry, man. And Louis C.K. told a story about this. He did that to a dog. And the dog hated him forever. And I remember thinking, like, oh, man, is she going to hate me? She never held it against me. We were cool as shit. So that was sick as shit. It's an awesome dog. Then, one time, like, I've seen Boo. She's had a beer, but like I've never like given her beer to get her drunk. I've never like given her, you know what I'm saying? I'm like one of those guys like, let's get my dog fucked up. I don't like do that. But like I have seen Boo fucked up twice. First time I saw Boo fucked up was when she was a puppy, and I got her fixed, and I didn't have a crate. I just brought her in the home. If you get that, you got to make sure you have a crate because they're gonna be like shitting and stuff. So she was like had diarrhea, and I just had to clean it up. But make sure you pick them up in a crate. But, so she's like shitting, but then she just kept like making this, she's all fucked up, and she just kept like looking at me. I kept hearing these weird sounds like, ooh. I was like, what the fuck is that sound? Is that my truck? And I kept hearing it. Ooh. I've got my ear near Boo, and she was making this sound. She just had her mouth barely open, and she was like humming this tone. I was like, okay, like the vet told me you're going to be a little wackadoo, so this must be like one of the symptoms. That was when she was like a puppy. A couple years later, we're out on the lava, because we lived on the lava back then. We could like do whatever the hell we wanted. We could just make giant bonfires, and so we were just getting shit-faced, and I had some friends that were growing shrooms. There's actually those guys that were there earlier with me helping her when I thought she swallowed the ball. That's great, I haven't said their names. But they were growing shrooms at the time. And they had like a bag of shrooms. Like the giant Ziploc bag. Like the Ziploc bag that's like the size of a laptop case. That thing filled with shrooms. And it was Halloween, and they came over, and they were just throwing this thing around like a football. You would be at the party, and you'd be sitting there all fucked up, and you just get hit in the chest by this bag of shrooms. They just throw it at you like a football, and it just land on your chest, and you'd be like, oh man, you just open it up, and you'd reach in the bottom where it's all black and broken up, and just grab a handful, start eating them, and you throw the bag back at them like a football, and they'd be laughing. But holy shit, man. So we were grilling steaks, and we're all fucked up on shrooms, and Marvelous Dave got sick and threw up, probably because of the shrooms and alcohol or whatever. So he threw up. We're all hanging out. He threw up outside, and like an hour later, I look over. Boo Kowski is eating Dave's vomit outside. The vomit with the steak and shrooms in it. And I'm like, Boo, get out of there. Like, no, stop. I didn't even think about the shrooms. I was just thinking how gross it was she was eating vomit. It's like an hour later, dude. I look over at Boo. We're grilling, and she's just sitting there like a statue. And I hear the sound. Ooh. I look over at Bukowski, bro, she is frying. She is tripping balls, man. Her eyes are huge. And she's acting all weird. Like that one time she was when she was like, you know, on the medicine when they got her fixed. And I was like, holy shit, that's what she's like when she's fucked up, man. And she was just, woo. And her eyes were huge. And I just said, okay, pumpkin. And I took her upstairs. I put her in her bed, and I just shut the door so she'd be all right. I was like, you'll be all right. You're just going to trip. But, so, dogs can trip balls. You know, anyone ever to know that, you don't got to do any research. Like, I know for a fact, dogs can trip balls. And then the next day, she was fine, you know. Probably enlightened. She was really into the doors after that. But other than that, she was completely fine. One time I had this fucking cow skull I found on the side of that. We found it was an old cow skull. There's still ranches everywhere out here. And this thing had just been baked in the desert. It was like a perfect cow skull like you'd find on movies. You see in movies. And I had it hanging up outside. And Bukowski would just sit in front of this cow skull all day and whimper. She'd just look at it and go, like wanting to chew it so bad. She would like tremble. And after like a month of this, I was like, all right, fine. I just threw it on the ground and let her have it. She chewed this entire cow skull to nothing. Nothing. Like, I don't know if she chewed the teeth up. I don't know what the hell. It was gone, man. She ate it, chewed it. She'd never seen a dog so fucking happy. She was walking around with this fucking dried up dog, old cow skull, and just, oh my God, she chewed it up for like a week till it was completely gone. She was so fucking happy. And I always wondered, because like people like scream at me when she'd do something stupid. She'd just like sit there. And I'm like, hey, you gonna help me here? Like, since you know, she'd just sit there while I'm getting screamed at. And so I always wondered, like, I don't think Boo is like aggressive at all. And I always thought if someone like broke in, she'd probably just like wag her tail. She's about 5 years old. I don't know, 5, 7 years, 10 years ago. Someone did break into our house. And Boo was not cool. She went ate shit on him. She went ballistic. I was asleep. Boo kept freaking out in this room that I had the door closed to. And she would not let up. I thought she was going to break the door down. I'd never seen her that aggressive before or since then. And I opened up the door, and she ran to the window. She was sniffing around. And I was like, what are you freaking out about? Like, this, everything's fine. Like, chill. So I went back to bed. I woke up the next day. I was in that room looking around, and I noticed that the screen was cut. Someone had cut the screen, crawled in. I looked, there's footprints and shit. I noticed a muddy footprint or two, and then I went outside, and I saw where they had taken some shit outside and piled it up so they could crawl in through the window. So, fucking A, Boo saved my ass that night. So when it came down to like being a great dog, she really is. Fucking great protector, great little kids and shit. So cute seeing toddlers walk up to her and hug her, and she'll just lick their face. She's like, hey, what's going on, Red? She was so great. I only sicked her on one thing. One thing her whole life I ever said, get it. And I said, get it, and she did. Marty called me. I was at an open mic one time, and she said someone had broken in the house. I came home. She told me there was all these noises and shit coming from the bathroom. I go in there. You know, I told her to call the cops or something. I just race home. I go in there, and there's a giant rat. Like a giant fucking rat. I opened up this door, saw this giant rat, and I was like, oh, fuck! I said, Boo, get him! Boo lunged at this rat, grabbed it, bit it, started shaking it. This rat was like, ah! Like, Boo dropped it. The rat started running. I was like, Boo, get him! Kill that fucking thing! And Boo bit it again. And then it ran. It got away from her. She bit it like 2 times. And then the thing died in the wall. Then I had to smell dead rat for fucking like a month. So if you do that, well, best way to get rats is just poison. That's all you can do. Poison. But be careful, don't let your dogs get into it. Because they can kill them. Christ almighty. Bukowski, the living legend. She's never left Hawaii. Born and raised here. Every local I would ever pull up in the pickup truck loved her. Hora! That's one nice pit! I want to get some puppies, brah! Everyone loved Boo. She's a great dog. One time I brought her to an open mic at the tavern, and she loves howling when you play the harmonica. I did that on stage one time with her. That got a pretty big, she's a little star there. Everyone loved that. She was so funny. She'd always want to take rides in Marvelous Dave's Volvo when Dave lived in his car in my yard for like 2 years. And she would just like sleep in his car in the back. She's like, if there's a car ride, this is where it's going to happen. I don't want to miss it. So it was so funny. It was just like her spot, and Dave would just like leave the back open for her, and she would just sleep there all day. We lived on the lava, just in case there was a car ride. She didn't want to miss it. I used to hitchhike with her when she was a puppy. We'd hitchhike everywhere. I used to just have to take her with me because I'd be gone for maybe 2-3 days at a time. When she was, until I had like a really solid place to stay, she just went with me everywhere. And she never even tried dog food till she was like a year or two old. I would just give her a third of whatever I was eating. Like whatever I was eating, I would just give her a third of it. Was I having a burrito? She got a third. Was I having some pizza? A slice of pizza? She got a third of it. I figured she's like a third my size. And that was it. She used to eat bananas. When she was a little puppy, she used to love to eat all that kind of stuff. Bananas, avocados. Oh my gosh, she used to love finding a dead pig to roll around. She'd come home from the jungle. Oh, she'd be covered in like this. You just start smelling. Like, what the fuck's that smell? And you look over at Boo, and she'd be with her giant pimple smile. And she'd be like covered in that slime, like slug slime. It's like from rotting pig carcass. Oh, it stunk. Oh, even after a bath, she would stink. Oh, she just loved finding dead, smushed sugarcane toads. And she would just flop on them in the street and roll around in them. She loved eating dog turds. She's gotten better about it, but man, for years, she just, oh my God, she loved dog turds. Like, anytime she found a dog turd, she'd be like, I'd be disgusted. Oh, I'd try to grab her, but man, she could find one. Oh, there's Peekers, the other dog. We brought Pika home when she was a puppy. Boo loved her. She loved her. Boo wanted to play with her all the time. She was super nice to her. When I'd be holding Pika, Boo would come over and be like, "Aww." She'd be like, hey, I want to play with her. Like, all right. And I'd have to put Pika on the ground just so Boo could play with her. Because she wanted to play with her. She's a great fucking dog, man. She's getting pretty old now. She was born January 1st, 2011. So she's fucking old as shit, man. I don't know how much longer Boo's got, but she's been a hell of a fucking dog, man. She had a hell of a life. She's, been all over the island. According to her, she's seen the whole world. She went to Kona. She's been Waimea. Bruh, I seen it. I seen the whole island. I've seen the whole world. So, I guess that's the Boo episode, man. Oh, God. Pika's barking at a loud car here. Anyways, I hope some of those stories were entertaining. Like I said, this is the story comedy podcast. I got some other shit projects coming down the pipeline. More animations, shit like that. Alright, guys. I hope you guys do good, man. Fuck yeah, party on.